What's happening, guys? Cap over here, and welcome back to the WPE League. We are in playoff mode as of right now. We finished the season 9-1. The past couple battles didn't happen because they were just forfeits and whatnot, and the season sort of came down to an end earlier on in the season. So we are taking on Master Roshi and his Aston Villampharos, which are the only team to have defeated us in the regular season. So this is definitely a meaningful battle for me and myself, but we're here to write a different script for ourselves in playoffs, because if you guys have just been following us for quite some time, we don't have the best record in playoffs. We are actually really bad in playoffs. Like, that's an understatement. We're pretty bad in it. So we're here to write a different script for ourselves and hopefully snag a win and try to change that up a bit, because I'd really want to win this title over here, and we're putting all we can get into this, and this is no exception because I did my homework against Master Roshi. I looked at all his replays, checked out his playstyle, and had a lot of help from the people in my AlrightKap Discord group. If you want to join it, you can look in the description down below, click on it, and you're in. So that'd be awesome. And special shout outs to the people who gave me some mock battles, that being Fitzblitz, Lady M, and Recon Jack was really awesome for helping me out and build this team, dealing with my paranoia of like all sorts of random ass sets that I could think of, because this was a team that I was really scared of. So I'm going to be doing a team builder for this video and in the playoffs, just because I feel like I really want to showcase my prep for what I did in this match, because this was a lot of prep and this was something that I took very seriously. The things that he could potentially bring are Clefable, Conch Elder, Ferrothorn, Suicune, Donphan, Heat, Rotom Heat, Mega Absol, Excelgor, Spiritomb, Glalie, and Vileplume. So I'm sort of predicting him. He's got to bring the Clefable, he's got to bring the, I was predicting the Suicune 100%, Mega Absol, Rotom Heat, Donphan, and it was between Ferrothorn or Vileplume, something like that, but along those lines, I was thinking those Pokemon would come into the battle, and that's sort of what I kept in mind when I prepped. If anything else comes in, we sort of did prep for it, but we have, like, whatever checks that I have right now for the main 6 Pokemon pretty much put pressure on the 6 Pokemon that I do not expect to come into the battle. So let's start this off with the Choice Specs Keldeo, Modest, Hydro Pump, Focus Blast, Hidden Power Fire, and Scald. Pretty much this applies a lot of pressure on Conch Elder and Vileplume. Vileplume was something that could potentially come into this match, but I slapped Hidden Power Fire just in case it gets out of control, because Hidden Power Fire is really nice, especially when it's boosted by specs and it is a modest nature. It just does way over half to a offensive sort of offensively fat Vileplume, which is great for me because it puts a lot of pressure on his team and it allows me to really keep on applying that pressure. It does a decent amount to a Clefable, and it pretty much almost one-hit KOs a Ferrothorn from full, which is phenomenal. Now, I'm running Focus Blast on this mon just because, shoutouts to Gmars for really suggesting this set, Focus Blast Suicune, because it does around 70 to 60% on a Suicune. I just have to hit 2 and that's it. That's a tall feat that I have to accomplish at this point, or get some damage onto it, to a non-invested Suicune. So that's something that I really wanted to keep in mind, plus it one-hit KOs a Ferrothorn. So it really runs through his core, it applies a lot of pressure on his team, and it's just a great mon to bring into this battle. Everything else pretty much gets one-hit KO'd or two-hit KO'd. This is pretty much my GOAT of the team. It pretty much takes down a lot of things on his side. I just gotta predict properly and play right fully, I guess. There we go, I can say words. Next up we have our El Capitan, aka the Mega Metagross, who has been doing phenomenally in the past couple weeks. Pretty much this is just a Zen Headbutt, Meter Mash, Bullet Punch, Power Punch, Mega Metagross. I was just looking at his team and I concluded that, you know, I don't really need Grass Knot, I don't need Thunder Punch. If I keep on Power Up Punching and getting up potential setups, then this could really put me in a really solid position and really put myself like in a pretty good position. Mega Absol actually goes first with Sucker Punch, so I decided, you know what, if it comes to a 50-50, if he doesn't have Sucker Punch, then he'll reveal it there. But either way, my play is either to go for Meteor Mash or Bullet Punch. I just have to get it to 50%, or I have to be over around 70%, an HP to make sure I don't die from a Sucker Punch. So that's something to keep in mind. With this investment, it allows me to live one that is not a +2 Absol. And just an FYI, +2 Absol actually wrecks this whole team. It really revolves a lot around not letting Absol set up. So a lot of these mons, if Absol comes onto it and tries to set up, I'm clicking Hidden Power, I'm clicking whatever move that I have, and not letting it set up. This is why this team was primarily developed. Then we've got our special heat over here, the Shockberry Tyranitar, aka the Wizard Tar. Stealth Rocks for Ice Beam and Fire Blast. So Ice Beam and Fire Blast, pretty much its main concern was to deal with luring in the Donphan and just clicking Ice Beam and setting up Stealth Rocks. If I can set up Stealth Rocks, he takes a lot of damage from it. Mega Absol doesn't appreciate it. And Fire Blast pretty much one-hit KOs a Ferrothorn that has a bit of investment in special defense. So it's a pretty cool set. It doesn't allow Suicune to set up with a Substitute or Calm Mind. It doesn't allow Clefable to set up. It doesn't allow a lot of his mons set up. The only thing that I'm concerned about is the Mega Absol. That's something that he could potentially set up on, but he'd have to be pretty gutsy because this T-Tar usually is run a physical set, and that's what I've been running it for the past couple seasons. So sort of threw a curveball over here. This investment allows me to 2-hit KO the Donphan and 1-hit KO the Ferrothorn, which is pretty cool in my books. And it allows me to set up Stealth Rocks and make sure that I can keep on hazing his team away, because his team really excels at setting up against mine. So that's something to keep in mind too. As well with the Sandstream, it really wears down a lot of his team too. Next up we have Dr. Poison the Weezing, and this is a set that I thought of right away because he does have Mega Absol, he does have Ferrothorn, he does have Conkeldurr and Donphan, and last time I faced against this guy over here, I didn't have a answer to his physical presence. So Weezing of course came into this battle, and I'm slapping on the T-Spikes, the Sludge Bomb, Taunt, and Haze. So I made sure this Weezing could outspeed a Clefable 100% of the time that had no speed investment. If he does decide to bring in a Scarf Clefable again, then that will happen, and that sort of is pretty cool again. But Taunt allows me to shut down Ferrothorn and set up T-Spikes. Taunt allows me to shut down the bulk up Conkeldurr. It allows me to stop Vileplume, Spiritomb from doing anything. It just really allows me to play a lot with his team and make sure that Weezing can really get a really good advantage of this. Sludge Bomb just also does a lot of damage to a lot of things on his side, and it's pretty much my primarily check to Mega Absol if it is not at +2. Hazing just make sure that's like Suicune, Conkeldurr, Clefable, they cannot set up, or any of his mons can set up. So it allows things to stay on a balance and doesn't really allow the option of lollygagging and whatnot. So this mon's pretty cool. This mon's a big part in this battle, and if I do set up T-Spikes and he brings in Vileplume, then I'm pretty sure I can get up another T-Spikes with Vileplume on the field and keep on applying pressure. Next up we have Uka, the Marowak-Alola Marowak with the Flame Charge, Shadow Bone, Flare Blitz, and Rock Slide. This mon hits like a truck. Just hits like a truck. So my plan is to get up a Flame Charge. That's all I want to do. That's what I really want to do. Shadow Bone, Flare Blitz, and Rock Slide pretty much one-hit KO a lot of things on his side. Even a defensive Donphan doesn't really take a Shadow Bone and a Flare Blitz. Mega Absol doesn't take it, Rotom Heat doesn't take a Rock Slide, Clefable takes like 70 to 80% with Flare Blitz, Conkeldurr doesn't take it. So a lot of these counts I already ran in my head, and I'm hoping that he might overplay the Flame Charge on Alolan Marowak just because I want to make sure that, you know, I don't want him to click Pursuit. I don't want him to just easily do that because it really would hurt this team a lot. Alolan Marowak has a big part in this battle, and if I can play some mind games in terms of, oh, is he going to click Sucker Punch or is he going to click Pursuit, then that sort of sways it a bit in my favor and sort of plays a bit more mind games. So this Alolan Marowak is meant to outspeed a Rotom with full investment, I believe, and then the Rock Slide is just going to absolutely destroy it, and that's one big threat gone. This is pretty much the main check to Rotom Heat, to the Clefable. It lures in the Suicune, which is a 2-hit KO, so that's always fantastic. That is fabulous right there. Next up we have the Shaman, aka Boop, with the Natural Pure, Leftover, Seed Flare, Hidden Power Fire, Healing Wish, and Synthesis. Healing Wish is sort of my Hail Mary pass in case Metagross or one of my mons really become dwindled down and I need them to come back. This is also a mon that can take a +2 knockoff Sucker Punch or anything like that. It does not take a Poison Jab well though, so just to keep that in mind, it is just meant to take on the Suicune. Pretty much the main check to Suicune, so it doesn't get out of hand. The Donphan, the Ferrothorn, puts in a lot of work. It just puts in a lot of work, and I can keep it late game. So what I want this team to do is just pretty much allow him to not set up spikes, because I've watched a couple of his replays, a lot of his replays actually, and it looks like he does like setting up his hazards. So that's something to keep in mind when I was playing this game. I will not allow him to set up his hazards and really get that momentum on his side and allow that to pressure my side, just because I have no way of getting rid of them. If I can set up T-Spikes and Stealth Rocks, that is fantastic and phenomenal. It puts a lot of pressure on his side, just because his side does not appreciate that. It dwindles down Mega Absol. Getting Mega Absol poison and whatnot is good. And then just allowing all my other Pokemon to just be played as it is. Uka, I just wanted to break things and do great stuff. Whenever Rotom Heat comes in, I'm sending out Uka because that's a potential chance for me to set up. There's not a lot of things that I can do to my Mon, so that's always something good. That's a free Flame Charge right there and really allows me to play some mind games. And El Capitan and Shaman can come in late game and really just clean up the rest of the match with Bull Punch, Zen Headbutt, Seed Flare, Hidden Power Fire, even Heal Wish the Metagross all the way back up. But I want to switch into my Pony, my Tyranitar, Weezing, and Uka the most, just because those are the 3 or the 4 mons that can really play around with his team and apply a lot of pressure. And it's going to force him into situations that he doesn't want to be forced into. So as long as I keep in mind with my plan and play it the way that I want to play it, I think we have a really good chance of winning this battle and progressing to the next round. So we'll move on to the match. Alright, so we're back with the match, and as you can tell, he did not bring in Suicune, he did not bring in Donphan, and he did not bring in a lot of mons that I thought he would have brought in. Instead, he brought in Vileplume and Conkeldurr, which is something I was a bit surprised about. Conkeldurr, not so much. Vileplume, the thing I was most surprised about was that he brought in Vileplume and Ferrothorn, so that was something that I was really surprised about, but excited to see no Donphan or Suicune. It does mean, however, that, you know, Tyranitar has less of usage in this battle, and so does Shaman, and that's always nice too, because that means my 4-1 can really apply a lot of pressure on this team, and alone Marowak has his role significantly increased by quite a bit, because it does pressure Ferrothorn, it does pressure Clefable, it does pressure Rotom, Vileplume, and Conkeldurr. So the role that it has in this match is pretty huge, as we can see over here. But let's get this battle on its way. Also, let me know in the comment section down below if you do like the team building section of it, or just you want me to skip it next time. I really do appreciate your feedback. And be sure to smash that like button, as we're just going to hop into this. I'm going to lead off with Weezing because I do not want him to set up his spikes. Turn 1 is really important for me, and it will set up the pace of this match and how it's going to go, just because spikes are going to be really bad. This is going to be a long game if it draws out to something that he wants it to be, and I cannot allow him to play the way that he wants to play. So sending out Ferrothorn turn 1 while I send out my Weezing is fantastic, because that means I can just click Taunt and really apply a lot of pressure. And I can get some solid information from this Durr, as I'm just going to click Taunt. It's going to get taunted. Fantastic. And now I can just simply fire off a Sludge Bomb, see what it is. Actually, no, never mind. T-Spikes. I'm going to send up some T-Spikes because right away, turn 1, that was sort of my game plan. Whenever I can get an opportunity to set up T-Spikes, I'm going to try to do it. And that doesn't do too much damage to Weezing right over there. Thankfully, he didn't go for a knockoff, and I can restore a bit of HP at this point. And now I'm just going to fire up a Sludge Bomb, see how much damage I can do, and judging from that, it is not an AV Conkeldurr, which is fantastic. And I'm pretty curious on what this is, because I have no idea what this thing wants to do or how it's being played. And all I need to do right now is just keep on firing off Sludge Bombs, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to win this battle, and this doesn't allow like Ferrothorn, Vileplume, or any of those monsters to come in for free. And right now I'm doing a lot of damage. This is damage that I can deal with, and he can try to overpredict me and whatnot, but guessing from this bulk upset, it could be potentially like a Drain Punch, Poison Jab, Punch Move, or Mach Punch, or something like that. Even Earthquake could be an option. So I decided, you know what, let's haste this thing, make sure that it's not a threat. I still win the battle when it's Drain Punch and whatnot. As you can tell over here, doing still nothing. Absolutely nothing. And these past couple turns have been going phenomenally for me, just what I wanted in my playbook. and all I have to do is just fire off another Sludge Bomb, and it puts this Conch Elder in a range where he doesn't want it to be. So Conch Elder's in range of the Hydro Pump and Scald for Keldeo, and that's primarily one of the main reasons why I didn't switch into Keldeo, just because Keldeo has a really good matchup in this battle, has good speed, but if I can keep it healthy and allow Furthorn to reveal either a Power Whip or something else, then I can switch it in safely and keep on applying pressure. So he ends up going for the Gyro Ball at this point, which does a decent amount of damage considering that it's my defensive wheezing and whatnot, but that's totally fine by me. I can make a free switch out into here and bring out Uka Uka because Uka Uka is not that fast, much slower than wheezing, and he ends up making a switch over here as he goes into his Rotom Heat, and I'm like, alright, this is great, this is fantastic, because now I can just go for a Shadow Bone predicting something else to come in, but he ends up going for the Volt Switch, which works out phenomenally for me, and this means this Rotom Heat is going to be taking a lot of damage, 50% from a Shadow Bone, and he ends up going for the Pain Split over here, which is pretty cool on his end, but it doesn't really dwindle down me that much because Uka Uka doesn't have a lot of HP, so at this point, I'm just gonna go for a Flame Charge, and this is the point of the match where I'm like, all right, cool. Now I can play some weird mind games at this moment because Rock Slide will easily KO this Rotom Heat. Rotom Heat is gone now. That is fantastic for things like Mega Metagross, things like the rest of my team. That means he doesn't have his Volt Switching options, so Spikes become a lot less valuable here. Switching his Absol. Thought about it for a minute. If he goes for Pursuit, I lose Uka Uka, really big Pokemon. So I'm going to switch out. And it's a 50-50 here. Sucker Punch or Pursuit. And I end up winning that exchange over there thanks to him just clicking Sucker Punch and me going for Flame Charge, because that is pretty huge at this point. If he also revealed Pursuit and Sucker Punch, then that might mean that he might not have some coverage moves for the rest of my mons, like Psycho Cut or Play Rough or something like that. So I'm like, alright, cool, that's awesome. Now I can just keep on applying this pressure with Wheezing. He goes back into In the Cut, totally fine by me, because this mon totally walls it, and I get 2 turns of... 2 turns? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. 2 turns of Black Sludge damage restoration. I look pretty fine over here. Dr. Poison. So yeah, I'm absolutely fine where we are at this moment. He sends out Dur, which is sort of frightening, sort of scary, but I can keep my Dr. Poison in at this point just because it's just a better play for me to stay in with Dr. Poison. Dr. Poison's still really, really healthy, and he hasn't revealed any moves that really threaten my Wheezing out, so I can just go for a Sludge Bomb and get rid of this Conch Elder out of my face. Get on out of here. It ends up living on just a sliver. By the skin of its teeth, it lives. And I end up taking this Poison Jab relatively well. So, like I said before, I didn't have to risk it. Making a prediction, he might have been like an Earthquake as his last move set, just because it might make sense. I think it makes sense. Bulk up, Earthquake, Drain Punch, and whatnot. So we get rid of a big threat, and now Pacha, the Clefable, is here. And I'm like, oh boy. Let's see what this thing wants to do. And keep in mind, I did put investment on this Wheezing to outspeed a Clefable 100% of the time, just in case it wants to do something silly. So we do get that. We can tell that this thing doesn't have any speed investment. If it does, it only has 4. And I can just go for a Haze at this moment and make sure this Clefable keeps its shirt on the Pacha, because that's pretty scary right there. Calm Mind was definitely a set that I considered that could really put a big dent on my team, but thanks to Haze, we actually don't take a lot of damage. We take a lot more damage than I want to, but at this point I concluded that, you know, getting rid of Pacha is probably a bit more valuable, and he loses a lot more momentum if he goes into In the Cut. Just because, once again, I restore 2 turns of sludge damage, and that's something that I'm willing to exchange. It pretty much puts me back in the green. And once again, I can click Taunt. There's no way I'm letting him set up Spikes. I am so persistent about this. Spikes is a bad thing for me. So he's going to go for another Gyro Ball. No way I was making that prediction. It could have been an easy turn into Uka Uka, but I do not want to risk Mega Absol coming in and really ruining my day and doing all that shenanigans. So I concluded that, you know what, Pony is the play to make. He hasn't revealed any Power Whip or anything like that, and at this point I can just go for Hidden Power Fire, get probably almost a one-hit KO. It's a big roll in my favor, but he ends up going to Sir Schmerz, and that's how you pronounce it, Schmerz. And I can just fire off this Hidden Power Fire, which does a clean 70%, 70, 60, whatever. It does a lot of damage, and seeing the Black Sludge damage also tells me that this is not Choice Scarf or any of that variant. So I can just stay in, keep on going for a Hidden Power, and just keep on applying a lot of pressure at this moment, as this Pacha is a 2-hit KO with my Choice Specs Modest Pony over here winning me my heart again. Just Pony putting in some fine work as always. That is fantastic. So Clefable is gone, and Ferrothorn and his Vileplume are the only things on his side. So like I said before, my play here 100% of the time is just to stay in, take a hit. He doesn't end up going for the play rough, which is fantastic, and I'm just going to fire off a hit of Hidden Power Fire, and this means that he will not sweep me with Mega Absol. And that's pretty much what we drew up in our playbook. Whenever Absol comes in, we're going to hit the sucker right there, just because it is such a big threat. There's nothing that we can play around with it, and we just got to keep on applying pressure with Mega Absol. So at this moment, I can bring out Nuh, as it is a safe play. He doesn't have play rough, which is fantastic for me. Ends up going for the Ice Beam, and thanks to the Sandstorm damage plus the poison damage, this is pretty much a free switch in for me to go into and allow Tyranitar to really pick up a KO over here and, you know, potentially finish off the game with Vileplume and Ferrothorn. So now I can reveal my special T-Tar, Wizardtar, and Wizardtar, check it out, doing some work. I showed this set to Gmars and he's like, man, that is pretty heat, that is pretty lit. And this is a set that I'm really proud of too, just because it sort of comes through at the end of the match and I'm like, T-Tar, finish it off. With 2 Fire Blasts, it pretty much is a GG at this point. I could potentially save the 6-0, but like I said before, differentials do not matter at this point. All I care about is that clean 1, 2, 3, 4 stick figure right there, the clean W. And Uka can come through, finish off the match for me, and we get a pretty convincing 5-0 victory over the Aston Villamphros. And we move on to play Papa C and the New York Clinks, or T-Train, aka the Luster City, Luster City, I guess? Something like that. We play them next, so pretty hyped about that. I've heard a lot of great things about T-Train if I do end up playing him. If it is Papa C, then we get another match of the season with 2 broken-ass Mons and see who comes out on top. So pretty hyped about this, pretty excited. Big win for us, because that means, you know, we advanced to round 2, and we're only 2 wins away from winning the championship, and that's what we want to do. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to smash that like button, sub to the channel. I know it's been a while since we've uploaded some Pokemon content and whatnot, but let me know in the let me know. Show your love right there. Show your love. Anywho, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.